Hey guys, it's Friday, and today we get an early Week 11 lineup for Draftkings. I'm pretty excited about Week 11. Week 10 was very good for me. Uh, I was heavily on the Steelers Cowboys game. I didn't have too many Tennessee Titans players, so that was the thing that kept me from winning really big. But I mean, my one lineup with Le'Veon Bell, Ezekiel Elliott, Antonio Brown, and Big Ben in it really crushed it. I mean, those four players combined nearly had enough points to win some money in a lot of tournaments. So that lineup really killed it for me, and yeah, I hope we can do that again in week 11. So for quarterback, we're gonna start off with Andrew Luck. They played in Tennessee before, and it was in Tennessee, and he scored 30.8 DraftKings points. This time he's at home. He will have Moncrief back and both his tight ends, and I think they're just gonna crush Tennessee. A lot of people will probably be on the other side of this game just because Mariota was so good last week and they scored so many points, and in the end, yeah, the Indy defense is very bad as well, but I think Andrew Luck is going to take the game. From the early second on, it could be a shootout, but I think the Colts will score more points on this one. Okay, for running back, we got to start off with Le'Veon Bell, and our second guy is DeMarco Murray. Again, like last week, many of the top running backs have a huge matchup. Last week I wasn't too much on David Johnson and some of the others, but this week I think you have to be on Le'Veon Bell. They will be um, in Cleveland, so Big Ben won't have a huge game. I don't think he ever has huge games like at home, and I think they're just gonna ride the ball a little bit with Bell, and against Cleveland you can really do that really good. I will later show you some, a switch in the lineup if you don't want to play Le'Veon Bell and all the cheap guys I will have later. Okay, and DeMarco Murray I think is a clear play in here. It's like playing Ezekiel Elliott last week against Pittsburgh. They will try to keep Andrew Luck off the field a little bit, and they will also score touchdowns. And DeMarco Murray is their number one guy to score touchdowns, so he'll see a lot of touches and points as well. For wide receiver, we start off with T.Y. Hilton, stack him with Andrew Luck. He saw a huge game against Tennessee last time as well. Okay, yep, here he had 29 points, and the last two games weren't too good for him, but he was injured on the Kansas City one, and Green Bay did a good job on him. They didn't play too well, and the defense stepped up for them, so they didn't really have to score a lot of points. Um, this time, though, he will be. I think a lot of people will be on Moncrief, but I think T.Y. Hilton will be the main guy again and score a lot of points. Okay, the next guy will be Russell Shepard from Tampa Bay. I don't think anyone will be on him at all because he just paused for 2 weeks. One was the bye week, I think, and the other one was injured. And yeah, I mean, we saw Mike Evans having a bad game last week, and no one really stepped up except for the defense. And Adam Humphries doesn't produce out of his targets. catches some of them, but I mean it's like always like 12 points or something. And I think if Russell Shepard can really see some work load, I think he will take it and he will kill it. I mean, 6 targets and 3 targets, 18 and 10 points, and I think the 6 targets came on 9 routes he ran or something like that. He's mainly special team, but I think they will put him like Patterson in Minnesota. They will put him on to the receiving core a lot more this week, and if he sees a number of 7 or 8 targets, he can produce really big, and I love that potential right there. Um, the other guy is gonna be no, where is the tight end? Gonna switch to tight end first and go with our boy Zach Miller. As you probably heard, Alshon Jeffrey is out. He got suspended for 4 games, I think, for smoking pot. And yeah, Zach Miller and Jeffrey are the main guys for Jay Cutler. As you see, I think Meredith has only 1 target, and that was the Hail Mary that wasn't even targeted for him. And Eddie Royal also only had 2 targets or something, and the rest went to Jeffrey and Miller. So I think with Jeffrey out, Miller will outproduce everything. He will go up against New York Giants, allowing 9 targets per game to tight ends, and Miller will get 10 or 11 targets, I think, and they will bounce back, I hope, and Miller will be the guy to do it for them, just because Cutler loves him and doesn't really like anyone else. Okay, for flex, we got our guy, where is he? Tyreek Hill. We already have Russell Shepard from that game, and I think it could be a huge game as well. Tampa Bay has a weak defense. Last week was something else. The defense really stepped up, and if you had the Tampa Bay defense, you had a huge shot at doing better than your opponents, just because there was no defense scoring nearly as many points as Tampa Bay. But that was against Jay Cutler, who didn't play well, and I think an offense guard or something got injured, and they didn't know how to fill up his spot, and he got sacked and under pressure the whole time. This week it's against Kansas City, and Tyreek Hill stepped up to be one of the main guys in Kansas City. Macklin was out, so that's why he got 13 targets, but he produced on those 13 targets. He caught 10 of them for 90 yards nearly, and he even ran one time, so I think he has a chance to see more targets. He fumbled twice, but that was for one a really good defense play on those two, and the second, I think that's a rookie mistake he made, and they will probably give him another chance, and just hope he won't fumble again. And if he learns of his errors, I think he has a good potential this week. For defense, we got the Philadelphia Eagles going against Seattle. Seattle really got better the last couple of weeks. The offense started producing, and the Philadelphia defense got worse. But I think this will be the opposite. I think Philadelphia will start to bounce back again and lead the team to. I mean, they need another win now, and it's in Seattle. I don't expect a high-scoring game, but Seattle's offense line is not too good, and the Eagles have the second most sacks out of every defense. I think there's a huge potential there. And yeah, I mean, cheap defense. I don't like any of the really expensive defense. I don't like Seattle too much. They don't score points really. They just in cash games maybe because they have like an 8 point uh, floor. But I mean Pittsburgh Steelers defense is not really good. It's just because they're against Cleveland. New England is just because they're against San Francisco. Giants just because they are up against Chicago. I don't like the defenses too much, any of them. So I'm just gonna go for the Eagles, who have a huge potential in my opinion. And for the last wide receiver, we have a cheap guy again, and that is gonna be up here. Where is he? There. Philip Dorsett. It's going back to Andrew Luck. I think everybody will be on Moncrief. I think Tennessee knows that Moncrief is their red zone guy, but I think Dorsett missed the one game against Tennessee, and his other games all didn't look too great if you look at the points he scored on those. But he is fully healthy now. He's back. They have the triangle again. Hilton, Dorsett, and Moncrief. And I think Dorsett will be able to step up in this game, and no one will be on him. He's super cheap and perfect to fit in the spot. Okay, the change-ups you can make if you don't like some of the people in the lineup. You can at first switch out Tyreek Hill for Darren Sproles. I think I like that option better just because no one will be on Sproles this week. With him going against Seattle and not producing like everybody thought last week, I think a lot of people will be on Rashad Matthews, but that's just the wrong guy to play in a game against Seattle. So I think the Philadelphia coordinators will put Sproles back in more often like he used to be. So that's a great way. The other option is to take out Le'Veon Bell. Go for the running back. Where is he? Nope, nope, nope. Theoretic right here. Great guy going against Jacksonville. He saw 14 attempts and an average of 5 yards. That's great, and he's a pass catching running back, like you can see here. They come off the bye week, so he should be healthy and fresh to go, and be able to produce numbers like those two. And for a wide receiver, we then have AJ Green, a great guy. Saw a good game against New York Giants. Didn't outproduce himself, but I mean a touchdown and 11 targets is always good. Going up against Buffalo, he will be able to have a good game. I think people fade him because Mike Evans is up there again against Green. I mean 32nd and 22nd. People will be on OBJ the most, I think. Antonio Brown will probably be shadowed by the Cleveland shutdown corner, Joe Hayden, and he's no joke. He's really good. I mean, he shut down Des Bryant. And yeah, the last option I give you is very risky but very good, and it is Percy Harvin in for Dorsett. No one will even think about Harvin. But they just came off a bye, and he had 2 weeks to fit in now.